Welcome back to another episode of the Dumpster Diaries Podcast. I'm Moses Wartooth. I'm here with Justin Allen, and like always, what do we got today?
I don't know, man. Do you just want to jump into like the news, or do you want to talk about the shenanigans we've been up to for a little bit? I guess maybe we should probably talk about this storm first, because that's probably more of a pressing issue.
Yeah, then we'll move on to some lighthearted shit.
Oh, Hurricane Helene, man, that thing is fucked up the coast, dude.
Yeah, and it's like. It's really reminding me of the Maui wildfire shit in the sense where our own government is not taking care of our people.
Yeah, just screwing their own people, man, again. But they're what, like day 10 or something without power right now?
Yeah.
Like as of filming this, dude?
Yeah,
so.
and over 100 people have died, too.
Jesus Christ.
It's pretty
Was it during
bad.
the storm, or was it like the after effects, like heat exhaustion, stuff like that?
I think both. Because I mean, it's wiped out entire towns and shit, man. Like,
wow, Jesus.
It was a serious deal.
Yeah, man, definitely fucking hearts and prayers go out to those guys, man. Like, that's never an easy thing to deal with. I know when we were kids, we had to deal with Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
And
that shit sucked.
That sucked ass, dude.
And that was like, we were on like the light end of that. Like, we didn't even.
Yeah, we were like.
Our shit wasn't destroyed. Like,
we were basically like 2 hours inland from the coast, pretty much, right? I guess that's fair to say. Right?
Yeah, and even then, I mean, like we lost fucking power for a
like
while.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and then, but I guess FEMA's fucking these people too, man. Just kind of like they did during Katrina. You think you would learn from these things, you know?
Yeah. So the whole thing just really fucking pisses me off because, like, we send how many fucking billions of dollars to all these other countries, but then when it's our own fucking people, suddenly we can't do anything.
Yeah.
That shit is infuriating, man.
Checks in the mail, dude.
Yeah.
Checks in the mail, you know? And then it's like, they always like fuck up. I mean, just like the fires in Maui, man. Like, those people, those American citizens, taxpayers, they got $700.
That's what these people are getting. They're giving them those $750 check. Like, they don't even have a fucking house, dude.
Yeah,
like,
dude, you know?
What are you going to do with $750?
Yeah,
Not
man.
that doesn't even pay for a month rent at anywhere. Like,
yeah, it's pretty fucked up, man. And then, like, I don't know, man. That's why I hate to get into politics, but that's why voting actually fucking matters, dude.
Yeah. Like, if any of these people that are affected by the hurricane vote Democrat, you're a goddamn moron.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
At this point, dude, holy
man.
shit.
100%. So it's just ridiculous, dude. Because it makes you wonder, like, because those guys they just constantly sell out the American people, and they gaslight us and they just fuck us, man.
I know, man.
And then when you begin to question it and stuff, you literally just get treated like you're some sort of lunatic or
a racist.
Yeah.
Okay, how does
or
that
an
fucking
extremist
factor in?
to some degree. You know, like, how many times have we been called like some sort of extremist? And if you actually sit and watch the show, then it would be self-explanatory that we're not by any fucking means, you know?
No, we just want what's best for our own goddamn country. How's that insane? But I guess now it is.
So I don't know. And it shouldn't be like non-profits coming in and helping these people, you know.
Well, dude, Elon was he was giving them Starlink and shit, and then the federal government is pressuring him to stop.
Why?
He went on X and a couple days back and was like, the federal government is essentially pressuring me to stop offering Starlink services to the victims affected by Hurricane Helene.
Why?
No fucking idea. Makes no sense. So you're telling me that a person wants to like do shit on his own and help Americans, and he's getting fucking backlash from their own goddamn government, man?
That should make you question a lot of shit, man.
Again, vote.
Vote, motherfuckers, vote.
Fuck, dude.
Oh my god, dude. But yeah, dude, it's just ridiculous, man. And there always seems to be I don't know what it is, but there's obviously something happening in the federal government, in the halls of Congress, where there is a nefarious group of people that actively work against the best interest of the United States. Mm-hmm. You know? And
there has to be. I mean, there's no other fucking logical explanation at this point.
It's like, what the fuck is going on, man? And it's crazy, and I think it's a lot of these people that get elected to power. They get there by running on like bullshit social issues. They'll be like, yeah, we support gay marriage. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's a federal fucking law.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so
like,
fucking
who cares?
tired of hearing, but they'll stand on some shit like that. And they'll be like, yeah, and everyone will champion that shit as like a fucking leader of the people or whatever, wave some bullshit fucking flag for a cause. That person gets elected, then they continue to fuck us and sell us out for the next fucking however many goddamn years.
And they still don't do what they said they were going to anyways.
I know, because they just become a cog in the machine that is turning, you know?
Yeah.
And and the thing is like 90% of what they're running on these bullshit issues have already been fucking settled. Like, they really fucking have. Okay? Like, a trans person has just as much rights as we all do. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
And at this point, they have more. They're not gonna get fired.
They can own property. They can vote. Like they have freedom of speech. They can do nothing. Fucking changes, right?
Yeah.
And then like the gay marriage aspect, you hear about that shit. It's like, okay, that was already established a long fucking time ago. And what was it? 2000? Oh, fuck. When was it, man? 14, 12?
Dude,
some shit.
It has to be 12. Over a decade. It has to be over.
But that was when the Supreme Court came out and they're like, no, like this is legit. Like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what he says.
Gay people have a right to be miserable just like everyone else.
So you just see the fucking bullshit, like, and they're marching in the fucking streets all the time. Like, what are you bitching about? Like, what are you talking about?
And they make up bullshit issues that they pander to the 1% of the population. Yeah. The rest of us this shit doesn't even affect us.
Doesn't even affect, man. And then I have, like, several friends who are gays. I have, like, one good friend of mine is married to a dude. Like,
in Texas.
In Texas. They're cool with it. Yeah. They're tired of hearing about this shit. Like, they actually get annoyed by it. They're like, this is fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Now, I'll give credit. Like, if you were gay in the fucking 80s, when it wasn't
you were
cool,
getting a beat down.
Yeah, and you were doing that shit. Now, that's a different kind of gay, dude. Like, you a brave motherfucker. You got to be hard doing that shit. Eating a bowl of nails in the morning or some shit. Yeah. I don't know. But now, man, like, and they just create these bullshit issues and they just go into it and they're just like, yeah, we're championing this and all this other stuff. And all those mindless fucking sheep fall right in line. Dude.
You know who the number one culprit of all that shit is? A fucking white person, man.
Dude,
they're always the ones doing the stupidest shit.
The Unabomber. Okay. No, he actually made a really good point. Like, in his manifesto, he talks about it.
White people?
Yeah. That essentially, if you look at a lot of these issues, these liberal issues that are being pushed, and they just use it as a cause to gain more power and fuck everything else up for everybody else. It typically is being ran by white liberals who have no connection or nothing to do with those ostracized or minority groups. Like, it'll be people who aren't even a part of the Pride movement.
Yeah.
Or it'll be people who are not
a straight white dude running fucking that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. And
or a regular white dude running fucking BLM shit.
Yes.
I mean.
Yeah. And when you see that, you should be worried. Because that is somebody using that cause for their own personal gain. You know what I mean? It'd be like a white dude trying to run a fucking Native American casino because he feels bad about what happened. You know what I mean? Or whatever. It's like, no, we know what you're doing.
Yeah, like, get off of your self-righteous bullshit.
So, but I don't know why, but obviously these people, you know, they get elected and they end up running the government. And, you know, obviously with that comes things like FEMA. So to bring it back to the Hurricane Helene, man, you just voting incompetent people into fucking power, running on bullshit social issues who can't actually fucking steer this massive ship that is heading straight towards a fucking coastline, you know? And I don't know. Like, how hard is it to have an emergency response on your home soil? How fucking hard is it?
I don't know. We have no problem sending fucking hundreds of billions to Ukraine and Congo and every other motherfucking country, but we can't take care of our own, man.
For fucking sure, man. And doing all these shady ass backdoor fucking deals. Everyone knows about it. And the fucked up part is they'll deny all that shit. Yeah. They will deny it. They'll fucking just lie through their goddamn teeth. And then a couple years later, they'll be like, yeah, we did that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what the fuck, man?
What are you gonna fucking do about it?
Like, I get you can't tell us everything because of national security, and you know what I mean. Like, you can't let motherfuckers know what's up entirely. But like,
and I don't even care to know that shit. I just want people that take care of their own. Like, what the fuck, man? That makes we're the only country that puts our own people last.
Yes, because this fucking system only works if the people are fucking backing it.
Yeah.
And to get into the fucking point where it's going to be a breaking point.
More and more people are getting fucking pissed off and fed up with this bullshit that's going on.
Yeah, dude, it's a fucking nightmare. And it's just like why do I pay taxes? Why the fuck do I do this?
I don't know. They get sent to fucking Iranian kids and shit. Like, fuck.
Yeah. And so
What the fuck?
Is that your phone going off? What the fuck? Whatever, dude. I'm not even gonna ask questions.
Oh, I'm fucking on I'm on like a Spotify thing with someone else, and she put it on some shit. Okay.
Oh, I got you.
Never had that fucking happen.
But yeah, man, and I don't know. Maybe I'm talking about it because I mean, obviously, it's hurricane shit with Hurricane Helene is obviously like really horrible and unfortunate.
Like,
our government
maybe
response.
like I feel like every time maybe this is gonna start waking more like like we said, if this doesn't fucking, like, if I was affected by this shit and I was a Democrat, dude, that'd be over. Like, are you fucking
it's
kidding
game
me,
over.
man?
I mean, I've told the story before about how when I was like a young adult, like, you know, teenager into like the first time I voted, like I actually voted for Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Like I claimed to be a Democrat, like 100%. And now that was back before it got real fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I will tell you that.
It was at least more believable.
I can believe the bullshit. And so the first time I could ever vote, like I voted for Obama during his second term, right? And then by the time he was done with his second term, I was so like disgusted with the shit that he did. I was like, I'll never vote for this party ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just saw them lying nonstop and shit like that, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this ever again, you know.
But see, you lived and learned.
Lived and learned.
Some
man.
of these motherfuckers are 75-year-old and never fucking learned that shit.
Yeah, you know, I still catch shit for voting for Obama all the time. Because I'll tell people straight, I'm like, yeah. I mean, on paper, like, when he was starting out, like, it seemed nice. It was like, okay, like, fuck it. You know, here's an opportunity, man. Like, it's a person of color can actually get in power, run the United States. I actually genuinely thought that it would help, like, heal, like, the racial tension in America. I genuinely thought that.
It had, like, an opposite effect.
It had the exact
really
opposite
did.
effect.
It's weird.
Because he fucking played into that shit like a motherfucker. Him and his fucking bullshit wife. It's probably most definitely... could be a dude. Like, you know, trying to be careful here.
Yeah.
It's against the community terms and agreement
it
to misgender somebody on YouTube.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Big Mike. But, you know, so, and then, yeah, he's just doing all this fucking stupid shit, all this shit with Iran, like all this shit, like his handling of everything that was going down in the Middle East. And then fucking, I thought like, you know, getting healthcare, you know, under control would have been a good thing, but obviously he dropped the ball on that, and that was really more, honestly, that was really more of Congress that actually did that. If you go back and look.
like I don't know, I never had an issue. I was never on Obamacare, but my family, like some of my family members were. Like,
well, the Republicans controlled the House and the Senate basically like the entire time he was president, and so anything that he or the Democrats try to get pushed through, they would just literally blackball just to say fuck you. And
just
a lot
like
of
when
it
Trump was in office,
Yeah.
the roles were reversed, but
and a lot of it was centered around healthcare. They didn't want him to get the win for that. You know, they're actually really petty up there. And my cousin, I won't say who, but like my cousin was chief of staff for a United States representative, and the stories he would tell me will make you fucking sick, because it's literally a tit for tat like game that they play. And
like they don't care about doing anything good. They just want to be right and get a win. Like,
they are legitimately psychos. And then they're just like, "Mah," you know? And it's like, fuck that, dude. Like, I don't like, it's dirty, man, you know?
it is, and then I know we've said it so many times, but it's like those are the types of people that want those positions. So it's like you can't get a decent person because a decent person doesn't want to do that shit.
I think Plato said it best, be cautious of the man who seeks power.
Yeah. That's
know?
exactly fucking right.
And or he might have said, was it that? Be cautious of the man who seeks power, or it was those who desire power never, deserve it. It's something along the lines. Basically, if someone is going for power, like you should not give power
like
to that person.
red flag.
You know what I mean? Like red flag there, dude. You might not want to fucking have that dude in office. You know, that's why I've always said, man, if you ever see me running for any fucking office, I got pissed at something, and I just have decided that it's gotten so bad because that is one job I would never want to have, man. Like fuck that, dude. But fucking who knows, man. I mean, the thing is too, man, like people give the federal government too much credit.
Yeah.
It's actually really incompetent because no one knows what the fuck is going on half the time. So the federal government employs about 1 out of 11 working U.S. citizens. That's a lot of fucking people, man. There's like, what, almost 400 million people in this country that we know of?
Yeah, and legal.
Yeah, you know.
And you know damn well a lot of those motherfuckers are not smart. So.
Yeah. And they're just like literally pencil pushing bureaucrats, dude. Like, I mean, you see it all the time. And a lot of people don't even want to talk about it, but you see it all the time in the military too, man.
Oh,
Where it's just like they don't really understand what's going on. They're like, okay, I know how to do my job and turn this wrench, but I don't understand like where these orders come from or how this affects the bigger picture, like throughout not only my branch or like my base, my headquarters, like all this shit, like my branch, and then how it affects the entire DOD, and then no one really understands that, you know? And what's crazy is if you think I'm fucking bullshitting you, if you really think I'm bullshitting you, go to anyone in the military, right, for the most part, like average Joe, right, and ask them what's the name of the first 4-star general in their chain of command.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that shit.
They will never have an answer.
I knew it one time. I knew one of them, and that's all I can say.
Probably because you went to a ceremony.
Yeah. That was what I was like. Oh, there's that guy. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I mean that's my own beef with like the military, and that's part of the reason why I got out. Like it's so there's like a cognitive dissonance that's occurring there, where the powers that be that are running things have separated themselves, and it's not a healthy way.
But at this point, dude, the fucking higher ups, they're the problem. Like that's the main fucking issue with the military right now.
Yeah,
is all of the leadership.
Yeah, and the good people leave.
Yeah, because they don't want to put up with that bullshit.
They get tired of it. They're like, no. Especially if you got a little bit of motivation and stuff, and you're working on some side shit, whatever that may be, whether you're investing money or you're starting a business, yada, 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 real estate, who fucking knows, whatever you're doing, you can actually set yourself up to be like, I'm not financially dependent on this system. Mm-hmm. And I actually felt like the military, the way we were treated and stuff, they intentionally give you just enough to make you just comfortable enough where you won't leave. You know,
but that's on you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people I talk to, like the people that don't like it, a lot of them are like, well, what am I? But the military also makes it seem like all you have is the military.
Yes.
They're like, what are you gonna do when you get out, you stupid fuck?
It's literally a toxic relationship.
For sure. Dude, like trying whenever I was getting out actively, like they were like, why are you leaving? Like, what you ain't gonna fucking do anything. I'm like, dude, fuck you, man. Like I have shit.
Oh, dude, they were freaking out when I was getting out because I did like a decade in there, and they were like, dude, you're almost retired. Like, just stay
be like, no, that's halfway, motherfucker. I know math. Like,
yeah, I can do basic
10
math.
more years, dude. No.
Probably why I'm looking at doing something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like they were, and it was like crazy because like the individuals are like small, like we'll just call them units because we're not gonna get into like platoons, battalions, squadrons, all that shit. But like small little units, they can be very effective at what they do. Mm-hmm. You know, and like really good.
Yeah, like if you have a good team, you can do shit.
And but the problem is like there's a lot of like incompetence that finds its way into the federal government. That's also in the military, and I saw that a lot. And a lot of it occurs in middle management.
Yeah.
And it's people, I can't tell you how many people that would be like E6s, E7s, and they just really had no idea what the fuck was going on. And they would just be like, oh, fuck. And then, so how
they're just they're mentally checked out. They're like, I retire in 5 years. Fuck it.
And the reason why like I'm talking about it, or we're talking about it from the military perspective, is because we obviously were in the military, that we have a history with that. But this transcends to every aspect of the federal government. Like this could be for the IRS.
The post office.
Yeah,
like
you
everything.
name it. And that's why anytime you have to deal with the feds, it is a fucking nightmare. It is literally a nightmare, dude. And I don't know, you know, like, and so you see shit like with this Hurricane Helene, and it's just like, oh, like these are American citizens, man, that are actually in fucking need right now. You need to be able to be competent and do your job and do the right thing. This is what these people pay for.
Yeah.
That is a guarantee. That is, they pay to play for a certain level of security by giving you a fucking percentage of what they earn. Mm-hmm. And when you fucking renege on that, in my opinion, they got no fucking loyalty to you after that.
No.
And like I would, if I was these fucking people, I wouldn't pay a fucking dime in taxes. I would rack up all that shit, owe as much money. I'd be like, fuck you, fix my shit, get all my shit in order, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you look at it too. I mean, the whole system is designed to fuck us. That's all it is. Because especially when you start looking into taxes, why the fuck can't anyone file taxes without the help of some like bullshit third party like TaxSlayer or TurboTax? Why is it
that difficult?
Have you looked at it? I had to file like a manual 1040 form one time, like handwrite my taxes in, because back in the day, if they owed you money, you had like 5 years to file. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so for like a couple of years, I knew that they owed me money. I just didn't file for like a couple of years. And I did like 3 years all at once or whatever. But I had to hand jam them because like TaxSlayer and TurboTax, all that shit, they wouldn't let you do historical ones at the time. I don't know if they do now. But so anyway, man, I go through it and it's just the most convoluted bullshit. I'm like, why is this even a thing? Like taxes alone, just to file, should be able to fit on one sheet of paper.
Yeah.
It should be just clean, cut, and dry, and as simple as hell. But they don't fucking. Have you seen the books that the tax code is written in?
Dude, it's insane.
It's insane. Just the federal level is insane, dude. It is insane. And then if you fuck it up,
oh yeah,
you're the criminal. Well, like, sorry, I don't feel like it's necessary to have a fucking law degree to file
to try
a
to
simple
file my
W-2.
taxes that I'm required to fucking do by the government, and then get punished whenever I don't know how to fucking do
And
it.
then the fucked up part is like they require all this shit, but they never teach you about it in any public education.
That was my next point. Yeah, 100%, dude. Not one class has ever taught on how to do any of that
Not
shit.
one.
No.
Not one
Would have
single
been nice.
class.
I could have used that a lot more than Algebra 2, but
Yeah.
fuck it.
I think there should be like a life course, man, that you have to take in high school, you know, maybe
Like as a senior. I mean,
or like junior or something like that. Like right sometime before you get out in the world, man, like where it's just like, okay, here's how Social Security works. Here's
how to apply for an auto loan.
Yeah,
anything.
Basic shit. Here's how interest rates work, like legitimately, like, you know, but they don't do that, you know? And it's almost like they want to keep people dumbed down and stupid because they're easier to control and manipulate, and they put them in fucking debt, which is just another fancy way of saying slavery. That's all the fuck that is.
They want you working that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Living that shit life.
Yeah. Everyone, you know, that's what gets me, man. Everyone wants to harp about, like, fucking slavery. You know, obviously, like, it's fucking horrible. I'm not saying slavery's good. But, like, but it's like...
But we haven't evolved out of it.
It's still around.
Yeah,
It's just gotten more complex and more, like, it's under the table.
Well, hell, other countries, I mean, us too,
like,
but I mean, they're just straight up legit slavery still.
I mean, we looked it up one time. There's slave markets in Libya. You can buy a human being for $400 American.
There's more slaves today than there was in slavery times.
Yeah, there's like 50 million slaves in America, or not in America, in the world, worldwide now. So it's like the highest it's ever been, and like 25 million are estimated to be 25 million are sex trafficked.
Yeah.
That's dark when you start getting into that, man.
Yeah.
But the thing is like slavery actually evolved, and it became tied to like financial institutions heavily.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just get them in fucking debt, and that forces us to continue to work and do all this bullshit. They work a fucking job you hate, right? Maybe you're one of the people that's a 1 out of 11 fucking citizens that works for the fucking federal government, and you have to keep going, and that machine has to keep fucking turning, because God forbid fucking Chase or JP Morgan comes fucking knocking on your door for your fucking house that they forced you to basically fucking sign a goddamn loan shark rate, on, especially now. What is that shit, like 6%, 7% or whatever?
At least.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like I bought my fucking house in my neighborhood, okay, years ago. Got a good interest rate, but it wasn't like great, it wasn't bad, it was just average, okay? And like my mortgage is like we'll call it $1,700 a month, right? A fucking house down the road from me, okay, just a few months ago, sold, and it's the same square footage, it's the same design, it's the same house, like just a few hundred feet down the road because it's a subdivision. That motherfucker, so I'm paying $1,700 a month. That motherfucker is paying like $2,600 a month for that shit.
On what, like a 30-year mortgage?
Yes.
Jesus.
Fucking, dude, slavery. And then you throw in fucking credit cards and student loans. And the fucked up thing about the student loan shit, dude, this is where it gets fucking real crazy, is that is the only debt that cannot be cleared from bankruptcy. If you have federal student loans and you go through bankruptcy and you're like, I'm completely broke, I can't pay any of this shit. When you get out of bankruptcy, your federal student loans will still be there waiting for you. You cannot get out of them, man. What the fuck does that tell you?
Massa got me working.
Someday gonna set me free. What does he say?
I don't fucking remember.
It's like Cartman with a dead ass and shit.
Oh man,
that's all it is.
That's depressing.
They try to enslave us, and it's like it's literally what.
But you are right. They keep it like broke, stupid, and working. That's how this shit.
But
runs.
they give you the illusion of choice. The illusion of freedom. It's
you get to pick where you want to work.
You can work wherever you want. Yeah. You can spend your money however you want. As long as you hit this baseline and check these boxes, you're going to be okay, right? Yeah. Fuck that, dude. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Don't get in debt, guys. I know you got to pay. It's a pay-to-play. It's a credit-based system, but, like, be smart about it.
Yeah, be responsible.
Sure.
Look at your bank statements. I'm sure you're buying stupid shit. We all do it.
Stay away from credit cards is a big one.
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah, stay away from those for sure. Payday loans is another one. I don't even know how the fuck payday loans are fucking legal.
I don't know, dude. That's
Some of them
like
will
so
go
predatory,
hundreds,
dude. Yeah.
hundreds of percent.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I'm gonna owe 6 times what I borrowed inside of 3 weeks.
You see those fucking you see those apps advertised on TV and shit. They're like, need $200, but you don't get paid until Tuesday. Download this app.
No
You'll
problem.
Get it right now. Like, okay.
Yeah, what fucking strings that come to that?
Yeah.
Nothing in this world is for free.
No.
Nothing. You know, there's always a catch-22. They're doing something. They're gonna charge you some fucking bullshit fees, or they're gonna take something from you. Maybe your data, like whatever.
They're gonna make they're gonna make it worth their while.
They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart.
Exactly.
You know,
Not everybody's Elon Musk giving out free Starlink. Okay, like people want money.
yeah, dude. So I don't know. I guess like taking it all back to Hurricane Helene, man. The government. I'm not surprised by FEMA's response because the government is just that incompetent.
And but at this point, dude, like I feel like I hate to say it, but I feel like you're onto something with the nefarious shit in our own government.
Yes.
Like there has to be. We've talked
100%.
about it too many times. There's too many things that just don't even make any fucking sense at all.
And I think like if you really like looked, if we were able to know all truths, right? Like lies couldn't exist in the world. Like right now, flip a switch, all truth is out, right? I would bet my left nut that there is people in Congress that have been compromised by foreign governments.
Yeah, there has to be. There has to be.
100%. Iran has some shit on some people. China has shit on people. I bet Russia has
fucking
a
Ukraine
lot.
too. I bet all those motherfuckers, man.
I bet our allies have shit on those motherfuckers and stuff, dude.
They were probably at the fucking Diddy parties too, dude.
Yeah. Oh, fucking speaking, you been hearing about that shit?
No, I haven't actually.
It's in the courts, man. It's going there. There's a quote that I was reading. There are 120 big names that everyone will recognize that are coming out in this case.
Okay, so are those names gonna come out? Because fucking Epstein's what the fuck happened with that shit?
I don't know. I don't know. But apparently, so 120 like victims, if I remember right, is what they were saying. Like somehow tied to this to be like a victim, right? So it's not people who were doing shit with him. It was like they were like victims of his behavior.
Damn.
And out of that 120, 25 of them are listed as, at least at the time, of being underage. The youngest one, 9 years old. Yeah. That's not going to be good, man. That's going to be dirty, man. So I don't know. We'll see how that unfolds.
Is Diddy going to self-harm himself in a jail cell and they kick off the security cameras and shit too? Like,
who fucking knows? You know, who fucking knows? I mean, maybe I wouldn't be surprised if that motherfucker ends up like suiciding himself.
Yeah, and I mean, the like obviously, I don't know what the guy did. I'm sure he's guilty of something for sure.
I mean,
he has to be.
There's no smoke without a fire, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, he's done some shady shit for sure. So I'm like, he's to blame on some of that stuff. But then, like, with the whole, to bring it, like, the Epstein stuff, like, nothing ever came out of that shit. They've still got fucking Giselle locked up somewhere, allegedly. Like,
got her in Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
You know, but I mean, the Epstein shit's still ongoing and shit too, man. They're still supposedly like still investigating that shit. It's not.
That's the stupidest shit ever.
That could be going on for years.
That's dumb. Like, okay, the dude's dead. They need to get Giselle. Just start pulling toenails and shit off and be like, give us the fucking names. We're doing this on Facebook Live, and we're doing it. Like, we're gonna get to the bottom of this right now.
Moses Wartooth checked in at Guantanamo Bay. So, like,
a little thumbs up. Immediate panic struck all the prisoners.
I would be curious to see if there's any kind of crossover between the two, between the Diddy and the Epstein shit.
I would say yeah. I would say yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, they were both. I mean, they were rich as fuck. Like, you know, those circles intertwine. Like,
yeah,
it would make sense.
Exactly. I mean, I believe at a certain level of wealth, you know everyone else on that level. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, there's about 2,800 billionaires in the world, right? I bet all 2,800 of those people either directly have each other's phone numbers or they're 1 degree of separation away from having it.
Yeah.
You know? And I think things are a lot more connected than what people realize, you know? But who knows? I don't know. I'm interested to see what comes out with this Diddy shit. I mean, I heard that.
I just want something to come out of it, man.
Justice.
Yeah.
Just justice.
I want to know. I want to know these motherfuckers.
Because there's clearly something going on with like these elitist assholes, like whether it's like in the entertainment industry or financial institutions or whether it be in the government. There's obviously some really dark shit going on with these people.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get all those accusations for nothing. And some of them aren't even accusations. There's actual fucking proof that's being brought up in these courts and shit. And it's like, hey, yeah, this fucking happened. You know what I mean? Like, Prince Andrews was clearly on that island. He had photographs with fucking underage girls. He was standing there, like, all that shit with, like, him and Bill Clinton. Well, I was on that plane 26 times, but I never fucking touched her. I mean, like, what at the fuck ever, dude? Like, who believes that shit, you know? Come on, man.
I don't know.
So, but we'll see what the fuck unfolds with that Diddy shit. I mean, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this shadow government, these nefarious actors, because I don't think it's entirely the government. There's definitely
no.
Like, it's maybe like two sides of the coin. There's like the government side and there's like the private sector side, but they're like all, you know,
and they fund like
one hand washes the other, right? And maybe they're just trying to keep a fucking lid on shit because it would be too detrimental to the entire system if these people went down. That could be it. I mean, because that's what I was worried about with the Epstein shit. I was like, whoa, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, is 15% of Congress going to be locked up in federal prison right now because they were fucking underage kids on some fucked up island? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What do you do in that scenario? Who replaces those people? You know what I mean? Do you have other elections? I've never dealt with that. I don't know what the fuck you would do.
That is a good point. It would be like, Trump's always talking about draining the swamp. Like, if all of those people were gone, like, what are the people gonna do? We're gonna be like, like fucking a real reset. Like, dude, I don't know, man. It's an interesting thought. Like,
I think it needs to happen.
I think it needs to happen too.
Yeah. I think we need to put something like in our Constitution that says like every 10 years or every 20 years there has to be a complete and total change of like any elected positions.
Yeah, like the Great Reset.
Like whether you've had it for 2 years or whether you've had it for fucking 10 years or whatever, like everyone goes. And then you bring in new people.
Yeah, like every quarter century. Like, so like 2025, reset. 2050, done.
Just
like,
a little checks and balance to make sure that we're cleaning out the bullshit, man. That's all it is, you know? But
that would be good.
They'll never do that shit.
No, fuck no. The people that have the capabilities to make those rules are not going to get themselves out of those spots. Like,
dude, the more, because we talk about politics a lot on the show, the more we talk about it or whatever, the more I'm just like, bro, even as like a joke for our show, we should honestly just run for like office somewhere. Like, I'm talking like a county commissioner. Like, you know what I mean? Like nothing like too crazy, you know, like be responsible for like the back roads, like getting those potholes filled or something, you know? And then just like keep talking about it and advertising on the show and keeping track. Be like, all right, cool, we got this many people voted. Like, all right, like whatever, you know? See if it actually fucking works or whatnot.
Dude, we could really make some positive changes in our community.
I think it'd be good if some. I mean, I'm not saying us necessarily, but like if people like us,
yeah, someone that actually wanted to fucking do something like and make some changes.
But it'd be cool, like if we did some crazy shit because our shit's out in the open. How we talk, how we think, how we act. Like there is no. You're not gonna find some dirt.
No, like anything. And trust me, there's all kinds of shit. I was thinking about that a couple days ago. I was like, if I ever run from office, I got so much shit. And I was like, but I don't care. Like, there's nothing that anyone can show me of me doing something. I'm gonna be like, oh, please don't show that.
And my thing is like, we've talked about everything on the show. So it's like, I mean, because we're all like pushing what episode 70 now.
Yeah,
like,
damn near. Yeah,
running out of shit to talk about. But yeah, so I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. We are gonna watch. You want to do the election live, or you? Because that's gonna be.
It's not gonna. I don't feel like we're gonna get the results in time.
We're not gonna get the answers.
Yeah, like you know, like
jam up like 6 states.
100%.
It's gonna take a day or two to figure this out.
100%, man.
Yeah. I don't know. We might do like a little bit of an episode at the start or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be. Because that's like an all-night fucking thing, dude. You know, just to be like, oh, we don't have any fucking answers. So we might start at the beginning or something like that. play it for a while, be like, all right, man, we'll see what the fuck happened, and then come back a few days later, make another episode, and talk about it or whatever.
Yeah, because I just don't see us getting a definitive answer anytime soon. I think if there's gonna be some bullshit that just gets fucking hemmed up or something, those good old Dominion voting systems, man, they're gonna crash or something.
Dude, I went to the GOP headquarters in the town I go to school at, right? So it's like a town over or whatever. It's like 40-minute drive or whatever. But so I went to the GOP headquarters because they give out free signs and like flags and shit, and they just take donations for the Republican Party. And I was with my date, and it's just so funny. Like she was talking, because I mean, I'm not dressed like it now, but normally, you know, I've talked about it before, like, or you've seen it, just button down slacks or nice jeans, you know, decent shoes. So I walk in there, just the stereotypical like Republican image, like, you know, hair's combed over, you know, I'm fucking just white as hell, you know, like talking about Trump's gonna come back and take it. And my date's with me, and she like actually noticed it. She called it out, and because she's half Native American as well, so we'll talk about that. We'll make jokes and stuff or whatever. And she was like, she was saying that I was getting him like riled up. I was kind of like fucking with him and shit, you know? And I was like, yeah, like, you know, like support this, support that or whatever. And they were just like, it was like 4 or 5 people. We were the only 2 customers in there, but it was like 4 or 5 people working there. It was like flocking to me, and they were like talking and shit. And then I started making jokes about like Harris and stuff, and they were like getting into it and everything. And then she was like, dude, they were really like all over you. And I was like, yeah, they gave me a bunch of signs and flags and shit. And I was like, woo! They're good people, but I just think it's funny, like, not that it matters, it doesn't matter at all, like what I look like how I vote, but I just think it's funny, like that image of like this guy. And that's what that was the point she was making. She was like, you came in as like the typical white,
like they knew what you were about, like
wearing a button down. I should have just had a Bible tucked under my arm or something while going in there, you know. So yeah, they were good. They were all nice people and shit. It was kind of cool to see like actual normal citizens just like volunteering to, you know, whether obviously I got my opinions of who I'm voting for and why, but it was cool to see people actually giving a fuck and being like a part of it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, like we're gonna rent this place out, we're gonna offer all this merch and stuff and take donations to help our cause, but we're not out in the streets like causing problems or like making issues, which is never Republicans that are doing that. It's always like Democrats, you know?
Or the Westboro Baptists.
Westboro Baptists. I'm waiting on those dudes. They should be showing up soon, coming back. They come to my university like every I don't know, like 3 to 6 months, and they start protesting, and it is.
I love whenever you tell me they're there, like
because I've sent you photos.
Yeah, my favorite thing is to be like, dude, send me the pictures of their signs. Like,
I have a selfie like of me taking one, and it's literally like a 13-year-old boy holding a sign that says AIDS is the cure. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Be like, somebody teach that poor boy how to do his taxes. He's got better shit to do out here.
It's a cult, man. It's a real cult. You know, like, and there's like a lot of them there too, man. Because all the documentaries I've seen, they make it seem like it's just like one little family.
Yeah, like a little fringe thing.
No, there was a lot of. There was probably like a solid 50 of them there, man.
Damn.
And that's all they do is they just travel around and they just do all that shit. I saw like another kid carrying a sign, like a teenager carrying a sign that said, God hates fags. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man. And they're like on a public university, like probably one of the most liberal places you can actually fucking go to.
I mean, I know that's why they do it, but they do shit that is like way over the top, dude. Like they've done multiple things that like disrespect military members and
like
shit.
Dead military members.
Like after that I was like, fuck you. Like, I mean, I didn't like them in the first place, but that really was like the nail in the coffin. I was like, dude, fuck those guys.
Yeah, fucking pieces of shit. I can't remember what I know what you're talking about. They had one sign.
They protested like a soldier's funeral or something, or like I don't remember exactly.
And they had like signs basically saying they were happy when like soldiers died.
Yeah. Because
it was God's will or some shit like that. And I was just like, what the fuck are you doing right now? And what gets me is they use children in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like those children are growing up with that ideology.
Yeah, so obviously if they're gonna be thinking that shit's okay, like they're basically raising like the next generation.
Like, it was fucked up. You think those kids are going to be allowed to go to a public university?
Hell no.
Exactly.
I mean, that kid's out there protesting. He's not even in school right now.
It's like, why aren't you in school? It's like, I didn't even think about that because it was like a fucking Wednesday, the middle of the day. Like,
it's school.
It's like, did you be fucking school or something? But it was like crazy too. Like the Westboro Baptist Church, man. Like they, so the people who showed up did not say who they were from. It's who they were. Mm-hmm. They didn't say who they were from or representing. And I was talking to some people. They were like, "Oh, it's not the Westboro. It's actually like an affiliate, basically like a branch of theirs or whatever, right? Like further down here where we're at in the South, in the dirty South." But anyway, regardless, it's the same tactics and shit. And dude, I mean, it's just the wildest shit to see. And I mean, there were students that went out there and were like legitimately talking to them and were like, "Tell me like what you believe. Like, why are you like this?"
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, that is a genuine question.
Yeah,
like,
and some of the because you know, like in college, like they'll have like youth ministries or whatever.
Yeah,
like you know, basically Bible groups for like a lot of what I see is like they'll have basically Christian-based organizations for like men, like young men. Like it'll be guys 18 to like 25. They'll be like in these like little religious groups, and there'll be some for girls. Sometimes they'll be like co-ed.
They're trying to prevent school shooters.
Yeah. And so like some of those people I know, and they're all really nice people. They're legitimately really good people. And they went out with Bibles, and they were like trying to talk, and these guys would quote, and they would like flip it open, and they'd be like, "Oh no, you're taking this out of context. Like, you're just reading this one line. Like, you need to read all of this before and after to get this picture, you know?" But the leader, I'll never forget looking at the leader, man. Like, that was Jim Jones, man. Like, I saw, like, I'd never seen that in person. But the way the look in his eyes, his charisma, the way he even moved and interacted with people, I was like, that's fucking Jim Jones.
It was, like, very calculated.
Yes. I was like, that is not a normal person.
Yeah.
Like, that was an actual psycho. And because I think real psychos are actually extremely rare to find. But I remember the women that they had with them. It was weird, man. They had them like secluded to like another area, and they had men around them. So like normal students and like other people couldn't engage with the women.
Really?
And like the infants and stuff. Yeah. Like they would just be like, "Oh, we don't want you talking to our wives."
What did the women look like?
Hardcore Pentecostal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay, it was like the blue jean pants, no makeup, hair can only be styled like a couple of ways, only talk to each other,
gotcha.
Litter of children, you know. So, but they weren't Pentecostal though. So
they were just like extremely conservative, dressed like.
Yeah, it was a cult shit going on, man. I was getting like some. Not like some hardcore like Mormon shit, like the fringe vibe of that. That's what I was kind of getting. Not like the normal like Church of Latter-day Saints. Those guys are fine.
The normal Mormons are actually really nice.
I actually really like the elders that come around. They're super nice. They're super cool, man.
Normally, Mormons as a whole are just very nice people.
I've known a few in my life, and they're all really good people.
Same. Yeah.
And I was like, you're actually not.
I know. I had nothing bad to say about them. Like they were always cool to me. Like,
and they like I like how they're very disciplined.
Yeah.
You know, because my buddy Travis, he I knew him in the military. He was hardcore Mormon, and this guy, he was like 33, I think, when I met him, and he had never had caffeine in his life.
Yeah, it's like they can't drink tea either, can they?
He can drink tea.
Okay, just no caffeine.
Tea. Yeah, no, there was no caffeine,
no stimulant or like
no nicotine, nothing to, because your body is a temple for God.
Yeah.
So nothing to taint or poison that temple.
So how do they feel about sugar?
I don't know. I don't remember.
That's always my argument to those people, because a lot of like, especially, I don't mean to harp on Pentecostal people, but a lot of those are like very fucking judgmental, but they're fat. So I'm like, obviously you don't really give a fuck about your body if you're engaging in that kind of shit and not taking care. Sure. Like, if your body is a temple, then you should take care of the motherfucker and work out and eat right and not fucking go to Golden Corral. So
yeah, the Mormons are good. Like, Travis is cool, man. Like, I mean, he just talked about, I don't know. Like, I mean, I was just saying, the guy, he was one, probably one of the best people I ever met in my life. Like, never had a bad
Just
thing
like
to
a
say
wholesome
about anybody.
dude,
like, yeah. And even like when someone did something messed up or like frustrated him, he would just get quiet and just be like, I'm not commenting on that. And I'm over here in the corner like, what the fuck? You know, like screaming, motherfucker! You know, cocksucker! You know, like, and he's just over here like, you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. And I'm like, shut the fuck up!
Discipline.
I think you might watch the show actually. But I took him gambling for his first time once. That was kind of cool.
You're corrupting the poor man.
Yeah, dude. He wanted to see what it was like. He was like, I'm not going to do it. He's like, I just want to see it. And he's like, I know you do it. And we were stationed in Korea, and Korea has a couple casinos. Those are kind of weird because casinos are illegal in Korea for Korean citizens. But foreigners can gamble. So in Seoul, there's a couple of casinos you can go to and gamble, like play blackjack, play roulette, and all that stuff. But none of those people in there are South Koreans. They'll be like Japanese, or they'll be like Westerners, or like Russians, or like whatever.
That's actually cool.
They don't want their citizens developing the vice.
That's cool.
Yeah. I did kind of like that.
I don't agree with it because I have freedom to do whatever you want to, but that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it was kind of I was like, huh. Talk about blatantly being like, we don't want our people developing a bad habit.
Again.
And we're not stealing from them.
Whoa. Who would have thought a country taking care of its own people? Whoa, why can't we fucking do that?
Yeah. So, but I took him and I was like, this is roulette. And he was like, how's it played? I showed him and everything. He's like, this is really cool. And I was
Roulette's cool. Like,
it's fun.
I'm not a gambler at all, but I do like playing roulette. That shit's fun.
Yeah. It's totally random. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, you just
Have
literally
a couple
just
fucking drinks, sit up there, red or black.
Yeah.
Name some numbers, like fuck it.
Shit, man, I actually I took a trip to Shreveport the other night, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I went on a date there, dude. It was like an impromptu, last minute. Like, I think we were hanging out. It was like midnight, and I was just like, "You want to go to Shreveport?" And where we were at, it was like an hour and a half drive to get there. And so we just got in the car and booked it to Shreveport, man. And because I'm not drinking or anything, and so we were just kind of like literally just hopped around from place to place. We went to a couple casinos, went to a couple little clubs and shit. But man, I really love Shreveport, dude. It's a good time. I mean, it is dangerous as fuck. It is ghetto. It is. But the FBI crime statistics from 2018 put it as the 8th most dangerous city in America. It had, I think, the 3rd. I can't remember what the murder rate was in the country, but it was extremely high. Extremely high. It is a very dangerous city, and so. Yeah, and just be careful. But I don't know, it's a good time, man. We went out, did a bunch of stuff. She had never really gambled before.
Oh, okay.
Like, she'd played slots, but she never played table games or whatever. So we were like playing, and I was kind of introducing her to different stuff. So we played roulette. We had a good time. I instantly lose like $100. Like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna play with $100 in roulette. We're gonna do this, and like instantly lose. Like within like 3 rolls, it's gone. I'm like, God damn it! And she's over here like never played this fucking game before in her life, and then next thing you know, she's up like $300, and I'm like. And she's like, what do I do? I was like, keep doing what you're doing. Don't ask me for advice, you know? Like, so, and so she was doing good. And I was like, all right, you want to try craps or whatever? And she was like, yeah. And then she goes, like, first time to ever throw the dice. And just, like, fucking yeets them down the fucking table. Hits one of the fucking dudes in the, like, one of the fucking, what do you call them? Boxmen or whatever, like, basically a dealer. Hits one of the dudes, like, in the chest with the dice.
Jesus
and
Christ.
he's just, like, standing there, like, and it's completely off the table. But yeah, we go and then we hang out and then we go to like a little bit of dancing and stuff and all that. It was a good time. But I will say this: so we end the night. It's a late night or whatever, and we're going to drive back, and it's like a 2-hour drive to get back to where we're at. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna play a little bit of blackjack. And so we go in and we're playing, and it's like 6 a.m. on a Sunday. Okay, so anyone left in that casino is from Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I sit down at a blackjack table. I'm bone sober. I'm casually playing. I'm not in there trying to like make a bunch of fucking money. I'm just having a good time. I'm talking to my date. Like, I'm just like, you know, it's just a good time. Like, I'm not there. I'm not really even all that focused on the game, to be honest with you. The other 4 people at the table are. And they've had a night of fucking heavy drinking. Heavy drinking. So the dude sitting next to me, I watch him burn through $1,000 and he pulls out another $1,000. Now, to kind of paint an image of what I'm working with here, this gentleman is probably like in his late 50s, early 60s. White guy. You could tell probably owns his own business or has like a pretty decent paying job or whatever. But he's betting heavily, anywhere between like $100 to $300 a hand kind of thing, right? And as far as I can tell, the night has not been going good for him. And next runner up to him, like, is the most ghetto, like, imagine like the most ghetto Lizzo. That's sitting there. She's gambling heavy, betting anywhere between 25 to 100 a hand or whatever. I'm betting $10 a hand. Let's put it this way, you know, for the most part. And then there's two other people or whatever, and it's just like all like, and the last two people are just ghetto as fuck, right? And they're all like just gambling and shit, and they're playing like a decent amount, like anywhere from $25 to $100 a hand. So I'm sitting here with my date, and we're like talking, we're laughing. I'm not really even all concerned in the game. I'm doing shit you shouldn't do sometimes, and I'm like, and you can see them getting frustrated because blackjack is a community game. So when you fuck something up and the dealer fucking gets lucky and fucks everybody else, then you get blamed, right?
Yeah,
It's why I hate those fucking games. Craps is kind of like that too. That's why roulette's nice because it's just you in the house.
Yeah.
Like, because everyone looks for somebody to blame.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's getting like the end of the night, like into the early morning. And I'm like, man, you about ready to head back? And she's like, yeah, let's go ahead and go. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm just going to do one big bet. And if I win, then I'm going to go cash out. If I lose, whatever, like we're done. And so I slide, and it's like $200, right? Slide it, and I get it. And I get an 8 for the first card. I get an 8 for the second card. Now, in blackjack, there's a rule. You always split aces and 8s. I know that. I've played quite a bit, especially in my early 20s. But also, that was the last of my money, and I was not going to a fucking ATM at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, you just put 200 down. Like.
Yeah. So to split, you would take your 2 8s and then separate them, and then you would get one more card for each one. But in order to do that, you have to double your bet. So I would be $400 in, right?
Yeah.
And she's showing like a queen. I'm like, fuck that. She's probably got a 20. Best I get is 2 18s. I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all. So I don't fucking split. I'm like, no, we're good. Just play it out. I'm more concerned with my date. We're like talking and shit. And then everyone at the table is like, oh, like, what are you doing? You know? And then literally, like, the next cards that come out, it's so perfect. No one busts on their end. No one goes over 21. But they get like face cards, so they're getting like 17s, 18s, 19s, and shit like that, right? And the way that it works out, is if I would have split, everyone would have won and the dealer would have busted. So the dealer flips her shit, ends up with like, I can't even remember what the fuck it was, man, but she had to like take some cards, and so it was like she had like a 14 or some shit. It was like, oh, I have to take cards, and everybody's like, oh, she's gonna bust. She ends up with a straight fucking 21, right? Everyone loses their fucking money, right? And I kind of calculated it on the table. That was about $1,500 right there. I just cost everyone. And then everybody's just like, what the fuck? And this drunk old dude's like, he's like, you always split 8s and shit. I started to kind of explain, and then I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, like
you're drunk as fuck.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to talk to that dude. Yeah.
You know, and I was like, it's clearly my last bet. Like, I'm out of here. And it's an 8-deck shoe. Like, get fucked. You know what I mean? Like, come on. And so, I'm trying to leave or whatever, but I just ended up like thanking everybody. I'm like, all right, well, you know, like it was nice meeting you guys. Like, y'all have a good night. And they're just fucking
They were like,
pissed.
fuck you, man.
Yeah, and then my date and I were laughing about it, like on the drive back. It was just like, oh, like, dude, just crash and burn that whole, just flip that whole table over and burn it, and then fucking leave. Because the old dude next to me was doing a big bet, and he had, I think it was probably around like $800. Like he was almost done for the night.
Oh yeah.
And he was just like, that cost me $1,000, and I was just like, well, you know, it is what it is, man. Like you play community game that other people get to influence and shit, and you can't be in charge and control of everything. Fuck yourself.
Like at the end of the day, you're the one sitting at the fucking table, dude. Like you make you make these decisions. And
then we went to Larry Flint's Hustler Club, strip club. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got $100 in singles, like ripped off half for her, and I had half, and then we were just like both, because we were sitting at the stage and we were just fucking making it rain and shit. It was a good time. That's a cool little place, Larry Flint's, man. But one thing about Shreveport, one thing I've noticed, man, when I lived there, it was a little over a decade ago, right? And one thing I've noticed is that they're charging cover charges to get into everywhere now.
Oh, really?
I spent over $100 in cover charges.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, it was
just like 5s, 10s, 20s, like.
The cheapest one was $10 a person.
Jesus.
The Sandbar, remember that place?
Yeah.
$10 cover charge to get in now on the weekends. You fucking kidding me? That place was like the go-to dive bar.
Yeah, that was that was literally the shithole. Like,
yeah. You know, so it's just like now, I don't know, that city's kind of changing a little bit. I don't like that, you know, because back in the day, they didn't charge you anything to get in anywhere because they just knew you were going to spend money when you got out there.
Yeah.
And so now they're just, it's like little, I just think that's a shitty business tactic, you know. But hey, whatever. The owner, he's kind of a greedy dude.
Do you think it was
I knew him.
Do you think it would be to like eliminate people that didn't have any money at all? Like a homeless guy?
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know.
That could be going on. I mean, that is like a deterrence too that is used. I've known people that have owned places before, and they're like, yeah, that is literally the reason we charge a cover charge. Is because it kind of like filters out the people who are going to spend money from the people who are not going to spend money.
That makes sense. I mean, but I do agree with you. Like, anytime there is a cover charge, it's automatically like annoying in my head. I'm like, man, fuck that shit. Like,
so, but I don't know. I love that city. It's a nice. It's not a nice city. It's a cool city.
It's a fun city.
It's a fun city. It's not a nice.
But proceed with caution.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just be careful. Let's just wait. Like when we're in town, like where we live, I hardly ever lock my doors. Right, like car wise. There, oh yeah, every
You're
fucking.
Like, click.
I don't give a shit if I can see the car through the window. Outside, like I'm fucking locking that shit, man. There's just so much crime in that city. It's insane. A lot of vice crime.
Really?
A lot of vice crime. A lot of sex trafficking runs through that city because of the casinos there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a huge bust when I lived there, and they arrested like 30 sex workers all in one ring, and then like it was like 3 or 4 pimps that were involved. I'm talking like straight up Mississippi pimps, dude. Like, this ain't like... No, it was like the classic old school...
Like all purple suits with canes and shit.
Yeah, like their mugshots had shit like that, you know, where they're just like clearly wearing a purple suit and
like
shit.
A top hat and stuff, like big old peacock feather and shit. Man, I don't know. I feel like we need to rethink our stance on like prostitution as a profession, or like whether or not it should be legalized.
Yeah.
Because having it illegal is the same with drugs. Like, there's always going to be the underworld shit end of it. Whereas, like, we've talked about it before, but like Amsterdam, other European countries have legal prostitution, and that shit's totally clean. Like,
yeah, like all of Germany, all of the Netherlands. There's parts of France where it's legal.
Greece.
Yeah. And it works. I mean, it's highly regulated. It's known that the individual worker is an independent contractor.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not owned
required
by...
to be tested.
Yes.
Like,
so here's the thing: is before I lived in Europe, I would be like, "There's no fucking way we shouldn't do that." Like whatever. After living in Europe and seeing it actually work, I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I really don't either. Again, I feel like that would help. I feel like that would make it a little bit safer. Like,
it would
for the women.
It makes it safer for the workers.
Yeah, that.
You know. All right, we're gender inclusive in this show.
True. My bad. Thank you for saying it.
Yeah, but come on, let's get real, man. It's always women. But it makes it safer for the workers, and I think it makes it safer for like the patrons, right?
Yeah.
And all parties involved.
Again, it'd be like the equivalent of going to a dispensary and buying some weed versus doing some corner shady shit and getting robbed.
You don't know who you're dealing with or whatever, you know.
Get laced with that fentanyl.
Yeah, just sprinkle that fentanyl, that special F on that shit or whatever. That kind of
Chemical F.
Dude, they're putting that shit in everything, dog. Everything, son. Everything. Yeah, dude, I think I've talked about it on this show. I've taken a turn in my adult life on drugs and shit like that, man. Yeah, like it's just too dangerous. I used to be like really open-minded and kind of liberal about it and being like, who gives a shit, do whatever you want. And then now, like, because of like the fentanyl fucking crisis and shit that has occurred, I'm like, no, like, we need to fucking end this. You know?
Shit's getting a little too dangerous now. Like, fuck.
You know, like when you start seeing, like, I can't remember, I think we covered it on this show. There was one bust that happened, I think it was in Los Angeles, and it was enough fentanyl to like give a lethal dose to like 50 million people.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing with that?
Are you going to war with another country? Like, Jesus Christ, man. You know, so I don't know. That they need to figure that out. That's a fucking problem. But hey, this goes back to our original subject, man, talking about the federal government's incompetence, because these things like, you know, dealing with like prostitution, sex working, these drug issues, all of this stuff, man, all this crap that fundamentally revolves around the government regulating those types of things. And it's like, you can't even handle taking care of a natural disaster. Like, how can you handle these complex social issues?
Yeah.
You know, but once again, I always feel that people put too much faith in the government and think that should be the solution, when really more government, in the words of Ronald Reagan, more government is the problem. And I don't know. I think we should be weary about that. And just remember, man, your fucking votes matter.